Hey everybody, this is Peter with Tabletop Gaming Guild, and I'm coming to you today with another review video in our line of videos about Cyberpunk Red by R. Talsorian Games. They sent us quite a few items to take a look at to see what we thought about the Cyberpunk Red universe and the game itself. And today's video is going to be focusing on their product called Interface Red, a collection for Cyberpunk Red enthusiasts, Volume 1. So this collects in physical form a series of articles that R. Talsorian Games put out to support GMs and players of Cyberpunk Red. There was a lot of demand for more things to use and to do in the game, and so they went ahead and answered those calls by creating these articles that were downloadable on their website, and now they have collected some of those articles together in physical form. I did double check the website just to see if these articles are still available for free download on the page, and most of them are, as well as some things that didn't make it into this book. I did not see everything that's in this book. I know that there were a couple things that they created exclusively for this as well, but there are still the free downloadable articles on the website as well. And one thing that's on there that I had mentioned previously in one of our other videos about the Jumpstart kit was the big oversight of not providing the apartment map for the adventure that they put in the Jumpstart kit. Well, one of the things that they answered probably the calls for was they created an 11 by 17 downloadable map for that adventure that you can get for free off their website. I think that's a fantastic answer to that problem, and they've answered it for everybody. And so it did make it into this book again because it's going to be something that you're going to want to print out on a large sheet of paper. But that is one problem that I have with the Jumpstart kit that has now been answered, and I think that's fantastic. So we're going to take this book down to the table. We're going to take a look at the articles inside, and then afterwards we'll come back up and I'll give you my final thoughts on everything that is in Interface Red. Let's take a look, everybody. All right, everybody. So we're down to the table with Interface Red, a collection for Cyberpunk Red enthusiasts, Volume 1. We're going to take a quick flip through and description of the different articles that are made available to you if you purchase this. Again, some of these are still available as a free download on R. Talsorian's website. Some of them, though, are not. So there is a reason to still purchase this if you would like to get it in a physical form. So let's go ahead and real quickly flip through. And we're going to have our quick introduction and then the table of contents. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different articles here in this book, some of them in varying degrees of usability. So the first article is called Old Guns Never Die, and it is a quick, I think it's like a 2-page article on converting Cyberpunk 2020 weapons to Cyberpunk Red. So if you've been playing an earlier edition of Cyberpunk 2020, this article is going to be useful for you if you would like to update the weapons from Cyberpunk 2020 to Cyberpunk Red. So all of you GMs out there who would like to update the weapons from a previous edition to the newest edition, this is going to be a good article for you. The following article is Red Chrome Cargo, a Cyberpunk Red scream sheet. And again, the scream sheets are newspaper articles that also then give you a one-shot setup. And so you're going to get the article itself. And again, up here at the top of the scream sheet, it's going to list what type of article you're going to be getting in the scream sheet. This one is a local article. And then the next page over here describes the player information that is given, and then the game master's notes about what is going to be coming up in this quick little one-shot for Cyberpunk Red. It also does come with a map that you could utilize if you are playing with miniatures in a map. We also get a single shot pack with pre-gen characters and net architectures. Having looked through this book, I believe this is probably going to be one of the most useful articles in this collection. It starts off with giving you kind of just the basic way of reading a character sheet, because the next few pages are just the pre-generated characters Most of them are the characters from the Jumpstart kit. If you've purchased the Jumpstart kit, you will recognize these pre-gens, but then there are a few extras added in. So for our Rocker Boy, we have 40 returning again from the Jumpstart kit. For the Fixer, Grease is back. For the Solo, we see Mover from the Jumpstart kit. The Nomad is Racer, again from the Jumpstart kit. And then the Netrunner is Red Eye from the Jumpstart kit. And the Tech is Torch from the Jumpstart kit. Each one gives you their page here with all of their skills, their weapons, their cyberware, and then all of that good stuff. And then over here on the right-hand side, you see a little bit about the role and the role abilities for that role. So each person is going to need these to be for, like, you know, if you're going to be running this for people, you're probably going to want to print these out in some way so that they can have both pages worth of information. Now we've got some new characters that were not in the Jumpstart kit. We've got a med tech named Red Tail. We've got a media named 24/7, very aptly named. A lawman, Surrey Cavalry Navarro. And an exec named Chandra Mishra. And that is it for our pre-generated characters here. So a few extras. Let's see, that was 1, 2, 3, 4 extras that were not already released in the Jumpstart kit. So giving you a lot of player characters or NPCs, depending on how you want to utilize these pre-generated characters. This is probably one of the more useful, actually, articles, the portions of the article for me, as I've been reading through and trying to understand netrunners and net running. And this is a series of pre-generated net architectures, either for your netrunner to engage in or go up against. So some of these, this one here is architecture for a starter drone rig, or Conapt security. So these could be security architectures that your netrunner is going up against and trying to overcome. So I'm going to utilize some of these actually in a later video to showcase the net running deck that has also been released by R. Talsorian Games for Cyberpunk Red, just to kind of help give it a little bit more of a visual for the player. But we're going to flip through these. There are some, you can see, very simple ones just with a few levels. And then we even have a couple pre-generated that get a little bit more complex, where we have floors 1 through 3, but then 1 through 3A and 1 through 4B, as the character is trying, the netrunner is trying to get through this architecture. It gives you a little description of the architecture, what kind of demons may be installed in the architecture, the cost level for each of these different levels as well. So if you're somebody who has been having a little bit of trouble conceptualizing the net architecture part of the game for your netrunner, this could be a very useful portion of this book, and I think probably makes this book absolutely worth it just by getting this. We do have then a very cool article on cyber chairs, new options in mobility. And so they give us 2 different types of cyber chairs for your players to possibly purchase and run around in, ride around in. There's the basic model that is the Mercurius cyber chair, and then we have the really cool Spider cyber chair. Some of these do come with the options for guns, so it's not just mobility, but also some firepower in your game. So cyber chairs, getting around Night City in style. And then this is probably, I don't know that it's specifically the most useful, but for me, it's the most interesting portion of this book, and that is Elf Lines Online, which apparently R. Talsorian Games for Cyberpunk Red have designed an in-game game, and that game is called Elflines Online. So if you're somebody who likes to play MMOs in real life and you think, man, how cool would it be if my Cyberpunk Red character also had an MMO that they could play? Here's your answer. Elflines Online. It puts a little D&D into your Cyberpunk Red. It's very interesting. I think it's kind of a fun idea that there would be this game within the game. And so, different places around the world might have their own servers. Night City is no different. Night City has its own server for Elflines Online, and it gives you the lore of the Elfland, how to start your elf life. And it's got all sorts of different lists. I mean, your elf is also going to have skills. There's online armory for your elf as well, combat and healing alterations and character progression as well inside Elflines Online. So really, really interesting. And then there's this one little bit here at the end of this article for the GMs on how to implement Elflines Online into your game for your players. So you can be running a regular session of Cyberpunk Red, and then all of a sudden decide that in the game, your players are also now going to be playing Elflines Online, and you can run them through a scenario for that. But if you're wondering, I don't quite know what all to do, well, the next article is for you, because this is an Elflines Online expansion pack. And so this is going to give you even more things to utilize Elflines Online in your game. So right here, it gives us a list of 10 individuals, 10 NPCs who are Elflines Online players who live in Night City. So if you want your players to run into maybe either a friend or even an enemy who they have made while playing Elflines Online, you have these 10 characters that you can choose from for them to meet. Again, they could be friends, they could be enemies, either way. And then this one here, you also have 10 PCs or player characters and then over here, you have another 10 Elfline Online player characters as well. So this list is for individuals that they might actually run into in real life in the game, so in Night City. And then this list is characters that they might meet in the game of Elflines Online. So it's got their character's name for in the game. So again, Elflines Online says not just about dungeon delving and monster stabbing, but also a way to make friends and have a social experience, or also, cultivate some enemies. So this is going to be a list for kind of like their server names. This is going to be another list for the in-person characters that your players may run into in Night City. And again, you might mix and match these two lists as well. And then it doesn't end there, because now if your characters are having trouble maybe coming up or creating elves for their game, you have a list of pre-generated elves for them to possibly play as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pre-generated elves for Elflines Online for your characters to play. So again, those two articles, it cracks me up a little bit. I've played MMOs in the past. I know a lot of friends who have played MMOs, but the fact of implementing an MMO into your game for this game, I just think is hilarious. So Cyberpunk Red giving me a little meta, getting a little meta here with its Elflines Online game within a game. A lot of fun. And then our last article is all about drones. Maybe you're wanting to implement drones against your players, or even give your players friends. So all about drones, your amazing animatronic friends. And so this article is going to be all about how you can introduce drones that can be companions for your players. It does say here, player-owned drones in your game. Drones are a powerful yet fragile utility tool. Treat PC-owned drones just like the players will treat NPC-owned ones. Don't worry, they can always repair them later. So drones in the game, and they've got one that's very much looking like a giraffe, which we see here on the front page of the article. And then we've got one down here called the Savannah Panther, which is very cat looking, lion-esque, panther looking. They've got a Savannah eagle as well. And so there are some really cool ways now to introduce drones for your player characters into Cyberpunk Red as well. And they've got a few other drones included. They've got the Observer, they've got the Transporter, and that is the end of everything that is inside Interface Red, a collection for cyberpunk enthusiasts, Volume 1. So this all started out as a collection of articles on their website that they made free to download for people who are really getting into playing Cyberpunk Red. They decided to add some extra articles, add them into this physical format, and put it out for sale. I think this is a pretty interesting purchase. Out of all of the things that were sent to us from Artel Soaring Games, probably the one that's, you don't need to purchase it, but it comes with some really cool articles. And if you're going to get it for just one thing, I would say this single shot pack is probably the best for its net architecture portion of the article, trying again to help make a little bit more sense of the net architecture and the net runner's role in the game. So some really cool articles. Let's go ahead and come up from the table and I'll give you my final thoughts on Interface Red. All right, so we're back up from the table. We have taken a look at the articles in this book, and I don't think I have anything really negative to say about this. I think it's fantastic. I love that they are supporting the community who are playing this game by creating some free articles and putting them onto their website so that people can just download them and utilize them. But I also love that for those of us out there who like to own the physical products, they've taken the time to turn it into a physical book. Again, it's a small book. It's only going to be a little over 60 pages, as we showed in the video earlier. But it's great that they're giving you the opportunity to purchase it in a nice paperback format, if that is something that you would like to have, rather than just the free downloads. And again, there are a couple articles, there are things in here that aren't on the website. So I give this a big thumbs up. If you're out there and you're playing Cyberpunk Red or running it and you're just looking for a little bit more to put into your game, I think this is a great option for you. Artel Saurian is doing a great job keeping up with their community who are playing this game. So yeah, I give this a big thumbs up, everybody. So thanks for watching the video. If you think this is something that you want to get, head on over to Artel Saurian's website. You can get the book, or again, you can check out the free downloads and check them out yourself, see what you think. If you like the video, give us a like, maybe subscribe to our channel here at Tabletop Gaming Guild. Check out all the great videos that we're putting out for board games and for tabletop role-playing games. Also, you could head over to tabletopgamingguild.com and check out our podcast if you would like, and maybe our top 10 list of our favorite board games currently. So thank you for watching, everybody, and until we talk again later, keep on playing games.